If you are hoping to get your hands on the Caitlin Clark version of Nike's Kobe Bryant sneaker, you're out of luck. They are out of stock. The WNBA star teamed up with Nike for a player edition of the Kobe 5 Pro Tro, decked out in Indiana Fever colors. You see them on your screen. They dropped at 10 a.m. Monday, and they sold out before 11 a.m. In fact, in just minutes. The $190 kicks are already showing up on the secondary market at close to...
All right, stop everything you're doing for the next few minutes. If you try to get your hands on the Caitlin Clark Indiana Fever version of Nike's Kobe Bryant sneaker this week, you already know the feeling of pure defeat. They were gone, vanished, not just sold out, but completely erased from existence almost the second they hit the virtual shelves. This wasn't a sale, it was a digital stampede. The WNBA superstar teamed up with Nike for a special player edition of the Kobe 5 Pro Tro, decked out in her team's colors. An entire stock was completely gone in under 60 seconds. And if you thought you could just grab a pair elsewhere, think again.
It's growing on me. I do. I think I like it. I went to order a t-shirt and I can't get one. We're on that pre-order action, I guess. Comparison, this is the logo, the two CCs intertwined together. Somebody said it looked a lot like a 1950s airline logo, and I was like, I kind of see that. There's Brianna.
The $200 sneakers instantly flooded the secondary market, with resale prices skyrocketing to nearly double the retail cost, with some desperate fans paying over $800 for a single pair. But this wasn't just a sneaker drop. This was the first tremble of financial earthquake that Nike just unleashed, and the aftershocks are already shaking the entire sports industry to its absolute core. What we are witnessing is not just a rise of a star athlete, but the birth of a multi-billion-dollar economic juggernaut. And the data that just surfaced will leave you speechless.
And people kept saying, oh, Nike fumbled the bag with Caitlin. It has to get out there. Nike fumbled the bag. No, they didn't. It takes time. She's got to develop a whole freaking product line. But they just announced, breaking news right now, we have a logo. That is the official Caitlin Clark Nike logo. And it's not just that. I mean, this is cool. Nike has just announced that a signature product line will be dropping soon, with signature shoes coming in 2026. Now, this is going to be her logo for all of her Nike stuff that is Caitlin Clark official stuff.
Before we dive down this rabbit hole, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, because the story we're uncovering today is evolving by the minute. For months, the narrative was frustratingly simple. Nike fumbled the bag with Caitlin Clark. They signed her to a massive $28 million, 8-year deal, and then nothing. Silence. Where was the merchandise? Where was the signature logo? Critics and fans alike wondered if the biggest brand in sports had somehow missed the point of its most valuable new asset. But behind the scenes, something monumental was being built. This wasn't a fumble. This was a calculated, methodical plan to launch not just a product, but an entire brand. And the moment finally arrived. With a simple social media post, Caitlin Clark unveiled what everyone had been waiting for, the official signature logo. Two elegant, interlocking C's, representing her name, but with a hidden third C tucked into the negative space, a subtle nod to the intricate layers of her game.
Double C on my jacket like Caitlin Clark, Flau'jae Johnson called it, with her reference to CC in her song, because finally Nike has unveiled the signature CC logo, which features two C's. Caitlin Clark, of course, her name. I've joked about this situation for a while when people wonder what was going on with Nike, and I just can't imagine they would sign her to the deal that they did and then not eventually have some big product on the way. And of course, she is part of the partnership as well. Perhaps she could have been promoted more in the meantime, but regardless, she's so popular, all you got to do is...
Nike described it as emblematic of her ever-expanding range, a mark that pulls you in just like her deep three-pointers. The internet, of course, immediately erupted with comparisons. Some said it had a classic 1950s airline luxury vibe. Others joked it was giving off serious Chanel or Gucci energy. But love it or question the style initially, one thing was undeniable. The conversation itself was proof of its cultural impact. This was more than a logo, it was a statement. And that statement translated into code, hard cash faster than anyone could have predicted.
As Caitlin's signature logo pulls you in like her game, it features interlocking C's. Her mark is emblematic of ever-expanding range on the court. Celebrate her logo debut with this soft cotton logo tee. And you know what's interesting about this design? It does look like they are interlocked, but if you kind of like squint your eyes, it also kind of looks like a very dimensional one C in front of the other one. I don't know if that's just me. According to Nike, the shirt is available, but it's not available just yet. But you can be notified for when it does go on sale. I can only imagine it's going to get sold out lickety-split.
The announcement of the logo was immediately followed by the promise of full apparel line. T-shirts, hoodies, shorts, pants, all featuring the new interlocking CC design. And just like the sneakers, the moment any of it became available, it ceased to exist. The online queues were virtual mob scenes. Fans rushed to websites only to be met with the dreaded Notify Me button, a digital monument to their failure to check out in time. This frenzy wasn't isolated. The numbers tell a story of unprecedented demand. Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever jersey wasn't just popular. It became the second best-selling basketball jersey in the entire world in 2024, across both the NBA and the WNBA, trailing only the legendary Stephen Curry.
And all it took was for her to take to social media to make this announcement, for everybody to go into a frenzy, and for, I think, the vibes to pick up just a little bit. It's that genuine love the fans have for Caitlin Clark. And the logo, pretty dope. Pretty dope, if I do say so myself. You see it right there. That's the look at it from the truck. They're going to be having to back up Brinks trucks to deal with all the orders that are coming for that sucker. But Caitlin Clark makes the announcement, says that the signature line is on the way in 2026.
Her personal jersey sales saw an unimaginable surge of 1,193%. Let that number sink in. But her impact didn't stop with her own name on the back. The entire WNBA ecosystem is experiencing a Clark-induced boom. League-wide merchandise sales have exploded by 500% since the start of the 2024 season. Dick's Sporting Goods reported a 233% increase in all WNBA-related sales. She is a rising tide lifting every single boat in the harbor, proving that her value isn't just personal, it's communal, revolutionizing the economic model for an entire sport. But the most shocking validation of her power didn't come from a sneaker website or a jersey sales chart. It came from Wall Street. While Nike had already been enjoying a steady climb after a strong earnings report, something remarkable happened the day after Caitlin Clark's logo was officially revealed to the world. Nike's stock price, which had already gained significant ground, got another massive and immediate boost. The company's shares jumped an additional 3% in a single day, extending their total rally to a whopping 17%. This wasn't a coincidence. This was a direct signal from investors, from the most powerful financial institutions on the planet, that they recognized the sheer monetary value of what Nike had just unleashed.
New Kobe Bryant 5 sneaker sells out online in minutes. There hasn't been this much calamity over a white woman's shoe since Cinderella and the glass slipper.
And of course, just today, Caitlin Clark's new Kobe PE shoe sold out in less than a minute. And I saw so many tweets about this, so many people who were so sad that they've missed out on this shoe. I saw that there was this one Dick's store and people were lined up around the corner, like camping out, trying to get the shoe. I also heard that Nike stocked about 14,000 of these, and that is an unconfirmed report, but they sold out in less than a minute. If that's any indication of what a Caitlin Clark signature shoe will do, I think Nike better continue to get on it and get ready to launch this brand for.
They looked at the interlocking seas. They saw the instant sellouts. They heard the cultural buzz, and they made a multi-billion-dollar bet that Caitlin Clark wasn't just an athlete, but a premium brand destined for long-term profitability. The market wasn't just watching, it was investing heavily in her future. That stock price surge is a language everyone understands, and it screamed one thing louder than anything else: confidence. And if that confidence seems high now, just wait for the main event, because the logo and the apparel are merely the opening act. The headliner, the piece de resistance, is still in development. Nike has officially confirmed that a full signature Caitlin Clark shoe is slated to drop in the spring of 2026.
The hardest logo, man, right now, currently, man. This is so dope, man. Oh, Nike, y'all did a good job with this, man. This is so clean. Go on her shoes, for shirts. Oh, man, that's gonna be so raw. Clark with the hardest logo in the game right now, man. That shit is super clean. I love it. I love it. It's super dope, man. Hey, Clark, just when they want to be dropping they stuff, you know you got something in the works, man, and you gonna drop it. It's gonna be way harder than everybody else's shit, man. The new God Caitlin Clark logo, man. Super sick.
And projections from industry insiders are so astronomical, they almost sound like fiction. Renowned sneaker expert Nick DePaula went on record with a stunning prediction. He stated that when Clark's signature shoe finally launches, it has the potential to become a $100 million business for Nike right out of the gate. But he didn't stop there. He believes it could easily climb even higher, with some estimates reaching a mind-bending $150 million in revenue. This would instantly place her in rarefied air, potentially making her signature line one of the top 5 most profitable basketball franchises on the planet, a list dominated by legends like LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and of course, Michael Jordan.
And I understand what Nike is doing. Nike is trying to get into the luxury brand style, the luxury department style, almost a little bit getting out of sporting. If they successfully do this, this has never been done. Never been done. A sport brand turn luxury brand, and it's affordable. Affordable. See, that's the whole thing. It's a luxury brand that's affordable and is fashionable at the same damn time. And if this is how the ladies stuff look, I'm desperately seeking how to mend.
For context, only 12 women in the entire 28-year history of the WNBA have ever received a signature sneaker. Caitlin Clark will join Aya Wilson and Sabrina Ionescu as only the 3rd active player with a Nike signature shoe. This isn't just a product launch, it's a historic coronation. Perhaps the most beautiful part of this entire story is that the wealth isn't confined to just Clark and Nike. Her success has created a powerful ripple effect that is fundamentally changing the financial landscape for the entire WNBA. Her gravitational pull is undeniable. On average, games featuring Caitlin Clark draw 1.09 million viewers. Compare that to an average of just 414,000 viewers for games that don't feature her. That's a nearly 3-fold difference. Her presence alone is the difference between a niche broadcast and a mainstream sporting event.
CC logo, ready to go. I need t-shirts, hats, pants, shoes, socks. I want it all. Brand new socks and drawers. And I'm balling every time I come and talk to you. Yeah, I want it all, CC. I need all the CC merch. It's about time, Nike. Y'all have taken long enough. It should not have taken this long for you guys to get this stuff together. I don't know what the holdup was. Actually, I do believe I know what the holdup was. Y'all didn't want a bunch of people hating and mad and all that. I know. I'm ready for this merch to drop. Cannot wait. The Caitlin Clark merch is going to be absolutely fire. The sneakers are going to be off the hook.
This influence was put into stark relief when she was sidelined with injury. During that stretch, viewership on some networks plummeted by a devastating 40%. That drop proves something crucial to broadcasters and advertisers. Caitlin Clark isn't just a player, she is the content. This surge in interest is the engine behind the league's groundbreaking new media rights deal, an 11-year agreement valued at a staggering $2.2 billion. This deal, which will triple the league's current revenue, was signed in an ecosystem that Clark proved was not only viable, but incredibly lucrative. But the real magic happens behind the scenes, where this massive influx of cash begins to transform the entire league from the inside out. We're not just talking about bigger numbers on a spreadsheet. We're talking about a fundamental shift in the quality of life and the competitive landscape for every single player.
To me, this is more than just a logo. It's a dream come true. People always talk about leaving your mark on the game, and this is another way I can do that. That Nike shoe is going to sell. If you had Nike stock and you were worried about it, this is the event to alleviate some of that stress. This is the moment to rejoice. And there you have it, Caitlin Clark fans and everybody who's been sitting on pins and needles about all this. It is finally on the way. The logo has been revealed. Soon enough, we will get...
Think about it this way. This new financial muscle means teams suddenly have significantly larger budgets. That extra money doesn't just disappear. It gets pumped directly back into franchises. We're talking about massive upgrades in facilities, state-of-the-art training centers, cutting-edge recovery technology like cryotherapy chambers and hyperbaric oxygen suites, and charter flights becoming the standard for every team, not just a privilege. These are the resources that elite athletes deserve, the kind that prevent burnout and injuries, and allow these incredible women to perform at their absolute peak. For years, players have been advocating for these basic necessities, and now, the economic force of this new era is making them a tangible reality. Furthermore, this rising tide is lifting all boats when it comes to players' salaries and endorsement opportunities. While the superstars will see their value skyrocket, the mid-tier players, the hardworking veterans, and the promising rookies will also benefit from a higher salary floor and more lucrative league-wide marketing deals. Companies that once might have only looked at one or two big names are now seeing the entire WNBA as a premium advertising platform worth investing in. Local businesses in WNBA cities are experiencing a boom as well, with sold-out arenas meaning packed restaurants, full parking garages, and merchandise flying off local shelves. It creates a vibrant economic ecosystem that extends far beyond the basketball court. And perhaps most importantly, this change isn't just for today, it's for the next generation. Young girls everywhere are seeing this explosion of interest, this validation of women's sports, and they are internalizing a powerful message. They are seeing that their dreams of being professional athletes can come with real financial stability, global recognition, and the same level of respect traditionally reserved for male athletes. They see Caitlin Clark, and they see a path. This isn't just about selling tickets and t-shirts. It's about building a lasting legacy, about creating a sustainable and thrilling future for women's basketball that will inspire and empower long after the day's headlines fade. She's creating opportunities and generating revenue for every team, every player, and every franchise and league, building a foundation that will support the dreams of countless athletes for decades to come. So, what separates Caitlin Clark from other talented athletes? It's her transition from a sports star to a full-blown cultural phenomenon. She shares a rare air with figures like Taylor Swift, where her name alone can break the internet and command the attention of millions who might not even consider themselves basketball fans. But this level of fame doesn't just happen because someone is good at their job. It's a lightning-in-a-bottle moment where extraordinary skill meets a relatable personality and an undeniable X-factor that connects on a human level. It's the viral highlights from Iowa that made people stop scrolling, the audacious logo three-pointers that became must-see television, and the raw, competitive fire that feels both legendary and strangely accessible. She didn't just capture the attention of basketball purists. She captivated a global audience that appreciates greatness in any form, turning casual observers into invested fans. The initial delay from Nike now looks less like a mistake and more like genius-level strategy. They weren't being slow, they were being precise. In a world obsessed with instant gratification, Nike played the long game. They understood that they weren't just launching a t-shirt. They were building a luxury affordable brand from the ground up. They were curating a mystique, allowing anticipation to bubble and build to a fever pitch. This wasn't a delay. It was a calculated incubation period. By taking their time, they transformed a simple product launch into a major cultural event, making the reveal of the interlocking CC logo a moment that felt earned and significant, not rushed and reactive. They studied the blueprint of iconic brand launches, understanding that legacy isn't built overnight, but is carefully constructed piece by piece. They were creating storytelling, weaving a narrative of precision, power, and hidden meaning into every stitch of the logo and every design choice. The logo itself became a topic of conversation, a puzzle to be decoded. The hidden C wasn't just a design flourish. It was a talking point, a piece of lore that invited fans to look closer and feel more connected to the brand. This approach transforms customers into a community. People aren't just buying a sweatshirt. They are buying into an identity, a story of relentless drive and authenticity that Clark represents. This narrative resonates deeply in today's market, where consumers, especially younger generations, crave authenticity and a story they can believe in far more than just a corporate logo. They avoided the quick cash-in to foster anticipation, to make the eventual reveal an event in itself, and the public response proves they were right all along. The conversation around her isn't just about points and assists. It's about design, fashion, stock prices, and economic impact. She has transcended the court to become a symbol of a new era in women's sports, where the athletes are not just competitors, but cultural icons and economic powerhouses. This is the final piece of the puzzle. Caitlin Clark represents a paradigm shift. She is proof that the market for women's sports isn't a niche. It's a powerhouse, hungry for content, ready to invest, and eager to champion icons of its own. She's not just selling shoes, she's selling a movement, and Nike's masterful strategy ensured that when the time was right, the entire world was ready to buy in. The evidence is overwhelming, and it's all right there in the data. The sold-out sneakers in 60 seconds. The jersey sales increases in the thousands of percent. The 500% league-wide merch spike. The 3% stock market jump directly tied to her logo. The $150 million signature shoe projections, the $2.2 billion media rights deal. Every single metric points to one undeniable conclusion. Caitlin Clark is the most powerful economic force to ever hit women's sports, and her journey is only just beginning. The logo is the spark, the apparel is the kindling. But the signature shoe coming in 2026, that will be the explosion that reshapes the entire industry, redefines athlete endorsements, and cements her legacy not just as a shooter, but as a builder of empires. The critics said it was too much hype. The numbers say they haven't seen anything yet. What do you think the impact of the CC brand will be? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to stay on top of every breaking detail in this story, make sure you subscribe and hit that like button.